Hey everyone, and welcome to Diversity of Life episode 11 with me, Nassie. We're in the height of the holiday season now, and we're continuing the festive feels with another holiday topic that you all chose, reindeer. For this week's episode, I'll be touching on reindeer biology, natural history, and how they tie into the holidays. Reindeer are part of the family Cervidae, home to 55 different species of deer. Reindeer are scientifically known as Reindeer tarandus, and under this name there are 14 subspecies. These subspecies are classified based on their behavior, distinguishing physical characteristics, and geographic location. Reindeer are very widespread, occurring in most of the northern tundra and boreal ecozones. In fact, depending on where you are, reindeer may have a different common name. The Reindeer tarandus species is also known as caribou in North America. Caribou originates from the Mi'kmaq word meaning snow shoveler, which is based on their behavior of pawing in the snow. Reindeer are migratory and very social herd animals. They can travel in herds up to 500,000 members, upwards of 1,000 kilometers in a year. These animals are huge, up to 53 inches tall from hoof to shoulder, 6.8 feet long, and 529 pounds. One of their most impressive features is their antlers, getting as large as 51 inches and 33 pounds. Interestingly, both males and female deer have antlers, and in fact, some females have their antlers longer than males into the winter. A baby reindeer is called a calf. It takes about 7.5 months for a baby reindeer to develop in the mother's womb. On birth, they can weigh anywhere from 5 to 20 pounds. The calves are able to walk in a matter of hours, grow their first antlers in 2 years, and at 4 to 6 years old are fully grown. The average reindeer lives about 15 to 18 years. This species is typically herbivorous, primarily feeding on lichens, but also grasses, ferns, mosses, and fungi. Reindeers have a 4-chambered stomach, like all ruminants, or mammals such as cattle, goat, and sheep. This stomach is special because it allows for the fermentation of plants, allowing them to digest and access nutrients that our stomachs wouldn't allow. There's even some evidence that suggests that when nutritionally stressed, reindeer can often feed on small mammals, fish, and even bird eggs. Reindeer are hypothesized to be one of the first domesticated animals. Some scientists at the Smithsonian finding evidence that their domestication can date back as far back as 2,000 years ago. Unfortunately, reindeer are listed on the IUCN Red List as vulnerable. This is because in the last 25 years, the amount of reindeer globally has dropped from 4,800,000 to 2,890,410 individuals. That's a 40% decline. This is for a number of reasons, but the primary reason is because of climate change. A paper by Mallory and Boyce from this year documented that as the tundra climate is changing, the vegetation that the reindeer is feeding on is moving more northward or is dying off. This puts an extreme amount of stress on the species. Not only that, but one of the biggest threats to this species is biting insects. Reindeer can lose up to 1 liter of blood in a week because of biting insects, like mosquitoes and black flies. This can lead to calves stopping feeding from the mothers. As the ice cap melts, the reindeer are exposed to these biting insects earlier and earlier into the season. So, just how did reindeer get involved with Santa Claus and pulling Santa's sleigh? Well, as it turns out, Santa never had reindeer in the beginning. As late as 1812, poems and stories about Santa Claus always had the sleigh flying without any help, just on sheer magic. The first records of this changing are in 1821 when William Gilley published a booklet from the New York Times printer that had a poem from an anonymous author which mentioned reindeer pulling Santa's sleigh. In 1822, when William was questioned on the mention of the reindeer in this poem, he stated that there was no explanation from the author on why he included this in the poem, but that these deer do exist in the Arctic Circle and some of the locals even say that they fly. Clement C. Moore in 1823 took this idea a little bit further. He created the 8 reindeer that we know today. This was in his poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, or commonly known today as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. As we all know, this poem was a smash hit, and everyone from then on knew that it was Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, and Blitzen who pulled Santa's sleigh. Now, where does Rudolph fit in all this? Rudolph is an even more recent addition to Santa's team of reindeer. It wasn't until 1939 that Rudolph was introduced. Rudolph was created by Robert L. May as a marketing gimmick for the Montgomery Ward department store during the Great Depression. May had been bullied as a child for his shyness, so he took that as inspiration for the character. In 1939, the story took off, with over 2.4 million copies of his tale being sold and distributed. Unfortunately, May received none of the profits or the praise for his creation because the Montgomery Ward department store owned the copyright and he was only an employee. However, that changed in 1947 when May met with the company president, Sewell Avery, and convinced them to give the copyright to him. This ended up being a big decision as May took Rudolph everywhere. In 1948, he had his brother-in-law make the incredibly popular song that we're all familiar with. Then, a cartoon was made of the character, and in 1964, the movie was made. And, well, since then, Rudolph did indeed go down in history. The most surprising part of Rudolph's story is that his red nose is actually rooted in an existing physiological phenomenon in reindeer. No, they don't glow red like his, but they do get red. This is because reindeer have 25% more capillaries carrying red, oxygen-rich blood in their nose. This is to make sure that their nose stays above freezing temperatures in the winter, and to make sure that the air they breathe in is warm before it reaches their lungs to maintain their body temperature. The last thing I'll leave you with is this. Reindeer racing is a thing and it's adorable. This sport is popular in Norway, Finland, Russia, and even some areas of Canada and Alaska. Reindeer pull skiers or sleighers as fast as they can across the finish line. In fact, during the 2014 Olympics, a reindeer sleigh pulled the torch part of the way. Check out the links below if you want to see more. As always, I want to hear from you. Did you know that reindeer in Santa's story was such a recent thing? Who else wants to own an adorable puppy face cervine like this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, please hit the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you want to see more of my furry antics, follow me on Twitter. I wish you all a wonderful holiday filled with friends, family, and food. I will see you all in the new year. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you later.